Our next guests bring to the table what we like to call the human factor. Please welcome real estate expert Frederick Remick and family law attorney Lori Viviano.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Derek.
How are you doing? Frederick, great to have you on the show for the first time.
Yeah, thank you.
Lori, I know we see you on Channel 6 all the time, so thanks for coming over here to Channel 4. Appreciate that. Interesting subject today, right? Divorce, how to sell a home in a divorce. It's really a complicated matter, I think, and a lot of people find that out the hard way. On social media, we decided to have fun with it, so we'll get to some of those comments, etc. But Frederick, you wanted to bring Lori on today.
Yes.
I appreciate you doing that. Lori, tell us a little bit about yourself and your practice.
Family law attorney. I've been practicing 25, going into 26 years. And as I was telling Frederick, that is one of the biggest, especially with our real estate market, that's really where the issue is, because it's a lot of times the only asset. So I try to get people over to finding out what mortgage they need, a real estate agent, to figure out, can you keep the house or does it need to go bye-bye?
Yeah. Well, here's a big question that I have, because let's say I'm your client, okay? And
Which is usually the case.
Is it? It's
yeah.
usually men?
Yes.
I was going to ask you that too. So
Yeah.
usually men are the ones who hire you?
Yes, because I think it's a good combination, because men tend to just give her everything, and I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. We need to negotiate
Men
that
tend
one.
to do that?
Oh, yes.
They just want it over with.
Yes, exactly. They just want it over with.
Okay,
so
that's
they're very much a
understandable.
business kind of transaction for them.
And it's worth it to them to just give it all away.
Isn't that what? Yeah.
Crazy. So let's say I'm one of those guys.
Yes.
And we've got a house that we need to sell. And you say, all right, Derek, we're going to use Frederick. Okay, I know he's going to do a good job. I know he'll sell the home. We'll get it all done. Do you have to get the other side to also agree to use Frederick to sell the home?
Yes. So usually what happens is you give 3 names, and I will say to my client, we'll just keep using you as an example, I think for you, Frederick's going to be great. He's calm. He knows what he's doing. These other 2 names, I like them. Choose, because you've got to convince the other side. And so it's always this shell game. Oh, which one does he really want? And really what you want is the one that's going to sell your house. There is no real conflict if you think about it. You want the most dollars for your house. You want it to be staged correctly. You want all these things done, so really the husband and wife should really not be in conflict. But they are.
But they are, of course, because it's an emotional period of time. I've been through a divorce, full disclosure.
Okay.
So have I.
Okay.
Full disclosure.
Okay, full disclosure.
Okay, all 3 of us?
Let's all confess.
Hey, we're in the same group. Come
Jen
on.
is the only divorce
I'm
virgin
the only
in the
one
room.
standing. Or sitting. Okay.
Yes, right. Hang in there, Jen.
Yeah, I will.
So, Frederick, when you're going through that process, let's say you do get hired.
Yeah.
What are some of those complexities that come up with actually selling the home?
Well, it's pretty interesting you asked about, do both sides need to agree on it. What's interesting is that very often one will go out and hire a real estate person because you don't actually have to have both signatures on the listing agreement, believe it or not. So
Really?
yeah, but it's only
Courts
until
don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like that, exactly. But it happens all the time. All of a sudden, the wife or the husband's got the house on the market, and then they'll go to the they'll go to their attorney, and all of a sudden they'll call their agent, and then all of a sudden it becomes an additional negotiation which agent they're going to use. So it gets a little complex. There's no
I don't
question about
recommend
it.
that. It's
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, then you automatically exclude that realtor, because let's say hypothetically I'm representing you and the wife does that. The first thing I'm going to say to you is absolutely not.
Not this guy.
Not this
Yeah.
guy.
Now, I don't want to give anyone any crazy ideas out there. So when we start talking about, how you could hire someone potentially to put the home on the market if you're in a divorce situation, I don't want anyone to think that's a good idea, or that you would even be able to sell the house, because ultimately that other party's going to need to sign.
Ultimately,
they'll be able to veto,
correct,
right?
yeah. Once
And then
it's-
you've created a mess.
Yeah, exactly. You have to handle it differently than you do a typical
Yes.
real estate transaction. There's not a lot of joy in it, right? Because typically, if I'm selling Derek's house and he's upgrading to a place in Del Mar, we love Del Mar,
Right.
then you're looking forward to it. It's something exciting, the future, the concept is embrace the future, versus I'm ending this part of my life and now I'm moving on. It's more of a somber. So we're dealing with kind of a different psychological aspect from the real estate standpoint. So it's a much more difficult situation with your clients. You become mediator,
Oh, yes.
negotiator. You're kind of put in the middle.
Let's face it, when you're going through a divorce, someone wants it and someone doesn't. Eventually, the person that doesn't needs to catch up. And that's what I always say, depending on which one I have, is, give that other person time. You've been, weighing, do I, don't I? Do I, don't I? That other person gets well, I voted and I'm getting a divorce. So you need them to catch up a little bit. And I've had realtors where they say, just give her the dining room table. I've been with her. She really wants it. It's probably worth $2,000. Give it to her. And then if you're my client, I'll be like, give it to her. Give it to her. If that'll do the deal, it's just, that's why you have to have someone that's really paying attention and listening to people. Because he found out that she wanted the dining room table. It's worth what on Craigslist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much.
Not much. Give it to her. Or
Yeah.
he found out she wants the plants in the front of the house, whatever it is. So you need a realtor that's really paying attention. And usually it needs to be the female.
Okay. Well,
Just saying.
You made a good point because someone wants the divorce and someone doesn't. I didn't realize that because in my divorce we both wanted out, so it was a very.
Those are my favorite
It
divorces.
was very cordial.
Those are my favorite.
It was really
See ya.
simple. It's like we should stop doing this. Yes, agreed. Okay, how do we proceed? So I didn't realize that until we went to social media. With
Social
our
media. Very interesting.
I was trying to be a funny guy. What do you want me to do? You see the graphic on the screen. That's what we posted.
Yes. Yeah.
Jen, tell us how people reacted to this post as we tried to make light of this subject.
Well, we asked our Facebook friends, have you ever met someone who wished they did not get a divorce? And kind of, what everyone's feelings out there were about divorce. Grace Peleo said, divorced but still living together. But we have our own lives. We stayed for the kids and we get along more than when we were married.
Wow.
So
That's a great, I
unusual.
recommend it all the time.
Really?
No, it's really not that
Really?
strange.
I was shocked too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if you just, again, I hate to
was
say it, you marry for love, but what do you divorce for? Money. So if two people are living together in the same house, again, I'm just going to keep divorcing you.
Okay.
I would just tell you,
fine with that.
get over yourself, go in the spare bedroom. If you really feel like she's going to rifle through your stuff, put a lock on the door and stay together until the house sells.
Okay.
And then make your realtor do all the work.
when Lori's done, then go on.
We call that punting.
Punting.
That's what we
Yeah, I
call
like
that.
that.
She
That's
punts
good.
to the
Yeah.
realtor. Now, here, I was just surprised that was a good solution because it seems like, you should separate your lives. It could be entanglement. But you say you actually recommend this.
Recommend it all the
Wow.
time, like 90% of the time. Because most people need to act maturely, and it's a financial transaction. It is cheaper for two people to live together. And then if you add children, it's better for the children. And if you have a realtor that can kind of be, like you said, the mediator
Yeah.
and say like, hey, I'm going to show the house. Could you kind of pick it up? Or you pick it up. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I
Clean
know.
it up, because the one that doesn't want to leave, they leave all their dirty clothes all over the place or
Yeah.
the dishes in the sink, and you just have to get it done.
That is kind of a unique difference between our jobs. I just thought about because she's representing one side.
Right.
So she has a great relationship with the husband or the wife. We have to actually have a good relationship with both of them.
That's true.
And that's why I think we have to be more of a mediator and more of a negotiator in a sense because we're dealing directly with them. Like you're dealing with their lawyer.
That's true.
I
never thought about that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so just do the dishes,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, this has been great stuff. I really appreciate you guys coming and sharing great insight. Thank you so much for being here, Lori, Frederick. Great idea in bringing her. Really appreciate you guys' time.
Absolutely.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.